Hello everyone, I've been playing New Chaos Shuffle for about a week now, and behavior made it even more chaotic than before. But is it any better? Now I can play Blight and go on a tunneling and slugging win streak since there's not going to be any guaranteed DS or Unbreakable. Hey, I really don't think that's the point. Now I can play Survivor with free toolboxes and flashlights. That means I can slam gens. That means I can sabo and I can flashy save for the ultimate bullying experience. Do either of you realize that this mode is made for fun? Bullying is fun. Ugh, man. Look at how mean-spirited this community is sometimes. Hello everyone, Chaos Shuffle is now even more chaotic. How might you ask? Well, killers are now forced to use completely random add-ons, with some add-ons banned, but we'll get to that when we get to that. On the other hand, survivors have completely randomized add-ons as well for their items, but their items are completely free. Also, there have been some perks that have just been outright completely removed from the perk pool, like No Mither is just completely gone now, which is weird. Hi guys, Editing Brand here. Also, a weird thing that I found out because I don't really use these items is that the fog vials just like aren't on the survivor side as a usable item at all. Every other survivor item is here, but the fog vials are for some reason gone. I didn't even realize this until I played on stream today and somebody pointed it out to me. They didn't add fog vial to the cash for item, is it not? Oh my god, you're right. That is weird. What? Why? So yeah, that's also extra strange. But how does this all shape up? Is this version of Chaos Shuffle better than the previous versions? Kinda. Killer add-ons are now completely random, which on the surface sounds actually really scary since there's a lot of characters that would have what we would call add-ons, or add-ons that just completely nerf the character, usually for some sort of trade back, like a little bit of blood points or something, but regardless, they are a hard nerf to equip. Thankfully, that's where behavior came in with a hidden ban list that takes add-ons out of the pool of random add-ons that you can get. As you can see here, a lot of the add-on bans make sense as some of these add-ons are really strong, namely the exhaustion add-ons like Xenomorphs, which is the Molted Skin add-on, which exhausts survivors for 30 seconds upon placing a flame turret. There are also bad add-ons that have been removed for your benefit. A good example being Bubba's Speed Limiter add-on, which makes your chainsaw do 1 health state instead of 2. However, some of these bans are just really strange. Going back to Xenomorph, their only other add-on ban is the add-on Light Wand. Light Wand is an add-on that takes the little deactivation period that happens to the turrets when Xenomorph pops out of the control station, putting them on this little cooldown from 2.5 seconds and then adds 3 seconds to that. It's a helpful enough add-on, but it's kind of in the middle of the pack for Xenomorph add-ons. It doesn't even crack the top 5. So why is this okay but relatively unoffensive add-on in the ban list? There's literally no reason I can think of. It's not too strong or too weak. There's a lot of add-ons like this that just kind of like randomly caught astray for no reason. It's really weird. On the flip side, there are absolutely add-ons that should be banned and on this ban list, but they're not. The perfect example of this is the Hillbilly add-on Counterweight, which lowers the initial turn rate of your chainsaw by 70%. You don't even get any blood points or anything like most meat add-ons. This is just a nerf for like literally no reason, and you can get this in Chaos Shuffle. Listen, I don't mind really OP or hard nerf add-ons being in the pool. It's Chaos Shuffle, not everything is perfectly balanced shuffle. But it seems that we've made an effort to try and balance out the kind of add-ons that killers can get in Chaos Shuffle. If we're going to decide which should be allowed and which aren't, this really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I am forced to comment on the fact the balancing for the add-ons is really weird and inconsistent. This should come as no surprise, as this is how it's historically been on Chaos Shuffle. Chaos Shuffle has always been rough on the killer roll. 16 perks on the survivor side versus the 4 on the killer side means that you're more likely to run into stronger perks because there are quite literally more of them on their side than there are on your side. Furthermore, survivors have access to better quality perks on average than killers do. Survivors have a plethora of meta perks. They have Gen Rush perks like Deja Vu, Prove Thyself, Hyper Focus. They have a plethora of exhaustion perks that are really strong, like Sprint Burst, Balance Landing, Lithe. They also have a lot of very helpful teammate perks like Vigil, botany knowledge will make it. Essentially what I'm trying to say here is that when you go to dip into the survivor perk pool, you have a higher chance on average to get a really good perk because they have multiple categories of perks with a lot of meta choices in there. So odds are, even if you don't get an exhaustion perk, you might get a good gen rush perk. If you don't get a good gen rush perk, at least you'll probably get a good healing perk. On the flip side, killer meta perks are essentially just slowdown and then some niche perks. You have your usual suspects. You have the pops, the pain reses, the eruptions, but after that, your meta picks are limited or character specific. Sure, Bamboozle is a great pick on a lot of characters and really helps cut down on chase time, but there's a lot of characters that don't even vault a lot, so that perk slot would be useless on them. Friends Till the End is an obnoxious perk on somebody like John Ghoul who can go across the map in 2 seconds, but on somebody like Ghostface who has to take a 3 to 5 business day paid travel trip to get from one side of Azrael's resting place to the other, not as helpful. This creates a lopsided situation where on average survivors are winning the gamble more than the killers are. This goes especially so now that a lot of the really awful perks like No Mither have just been taken out of the pool entirely, leaving them with mostly good picks. I'm sure you've noticed while playing Survivor during Chaos Shuffle that there is a lot of tunneling and slugging going on out there, and you would be right to point out that to a certain extent, that's because there's no decisive strike, unbreakable, guaranteed anti-tunnel or anti-slug. But a lot of the time that killers are doing this, it's because they don't get one of those slowdown because the pool of good slowdown perks is very limited, and then they end up with a bunch of niche perks or perks that don't work on the characters. So they have to work twice as hard to get that pressure back because they're essentially doing it without any handy perks. So this realistically creates a kind of a lose-lose situation for everybody over time because the survivors get good perks, which in turn makes the killers try harder, which they will then tunnel and slug, which isn't a fun playstyle to face. So they're going to be miserable because they can't defend themselves unless they just RNG get something. It's just kind of a mess. What do you think, William? What do you think of the new Chaos Shuffle? I don't think he likes it. Okay, just like with killer add-ons, survivor add-ons are free for their items in Chaos Shuffle, with just one catch. The items are free too. You may be saying, well, that can't be problematic. Free is good. Free? Yeah, but it might be a little too good. Remember how we were talking about earlier, how some killer add-ons are really good, but some are really bad that are in the pool that they could be picked from? Well, there's really no such thing as a bad add-on for a survivor item. Sure, there are plenty of add-ons that aren't as great, but they all ultimately benefit you at the end of the day. They are inherently buffs. Even the ones that have like nerfs to your item, like the purple flashlight lens, which lowers your flashlight beam width by 25%, come with a slew of buffs with it that essentially erase all the downsides. So that means that killers are gambling to potentially get an add-on that nerfs them or changes their gameplay unfavorably, while survivors get free items with add-ons that are guaranteed to help them out somehow. This also leads to frustrating situations as killer because, well, there's no downside to bringing items. You're not going to lose it if you get sacrificed or anything, so you might as well bring a beamer. It becomes Flashlight Save City. All right, just down this survivor. Oh. 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 I really didn't look there. Guess that's on me. Play a little bit more careful. I'm gonna go for the pickup. Oh. Oh. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But also, third time's the charm. Now that I know that you guys are all here, now that I know for sure, I'm going to pick up at a weird angle, and you're not going to see it coming, and now I'm going to be good. Sabos are happening more often, heals are going extremely quickly, gens are going quicker. All of these are happening way more often because people don't have to worry about losing their items because they're free, so they're just bringing a bunch. So you're seeing a higher presence of items in your games than you would in the normal 4v1 mode. And this includes the quote-unquote bully squad playstyle of sabwing, flashlight saving, etc. So you've been warned, if you're going out there in the Chaos Shuffle, expect that stuff way more. Okay, so hot take here, and I'm gonna rant for a little bit, so buckle up. Does any of this Chaos Shuffle balance nonsense even really matter? Not really, in my opinion. I've always kind of found it weird that there seems to be a lot of attention given to balancing event modes, whether it be the anniversary event, the winter event, Chaos Shuffle, whatever it happens to be. PvE does not have a casual or ranked mode, meaning that we're all shoved into this one singular mode. Whether or not it should have a ranked and casual mode or not, I'm not going to get into that because some people have some very passionate feelings about that. Point being is this is the closest thing we ever get in the game to some sort of quote-unquote casual mode in Dead by Daylight. I mean, it's pretty obvious to see that based on the fact that MMR is turned off in these event modes. They're here for the hijinks of throwing snowballs, building party pallets, or trying to make some weird randomized build work. The event modes are built from the ground up for whimsy and goofing off, not for hardcore balanced gameplay. There are people out here literally trying to win streak in the Chaos Shuffle game mode. It's even funnier because most win streak rule sets don't even count event modes. I know the main DBD win streak Discord that keeps track of all of the major win streaks for sure does not count the event mode win streaks that people do. So it feels like kind of just a waste of time. Just kind of playing really hard in a casual mode. Maybe I answered my own question. Casual mode, easy wins.
This is like taking candy from a baby, which is fine by me.
Point being is that the point of these modes is to mess around and have fun, not to win or have strict balanced gameplay. If you're into that, you should probably stick to the 4v1 normal mode. Honestly, I can't blame people for the confusion because behaviors decided to put the time and investment into balancing the mode that is complete chaos. So the message has been sent that we are putting effort into this, so I can see people putting effort back from the player side. But realistically, I don't think you should care because this mode is made for random, wild gameplay, not stable best man comes out on top gameplay. If you're looking for that, you're in the wrong place, frankly. So my advice to you, just go out and have some fun. Don't think about it too hard. Don't stress about it too much. You may not get the best stuff all the time, but sometimes you're the hammer and sometimes you're the nail. Either way, no matter which one you end up getting, it's better to remember that Chaos Shuffle as a mode is meant for just that. Chaos.
That's chaos.